Now this lecture is going to be all about removing unnecessary expenses. If you're looking to save some extra money, I'm going to give you several tips on how to remove unnecessary expenses. Now, this is of course optional. You can decide which of these tips you want to accept, which ones you want to do, but I think that some of these tips have definitely helped me improve my budget, and I haven't even been that much affected by the change. So of course, I understand that some of you may already be doing this, so not each of these steps may be applicable to everyone, but I hope that at least you will be able to use some of them. Okay, so let's get started. Tip number 1. Instead of going to the restaurant, you can just cook for yourself. And a lot of people think that you cannot save a lot of money this way, but the truth is that you can actually save up to 50% of your money just by cooking the food yourself. And you can even cook the fancy meals. You can even cook the meals that you find in restaurants. There are a lot of recipes and how-to online. And this is a great way that helped me save over 50% of my money. Another thing that I started doing is I've also started meal prepping, where I was able to prepare recipes in advance for the week. So for example, I will chop up my vegetables, I will prepare my meat, which can last for about 3 days in the fridge. And this has helped me save a lot of money, and I don't necessarily miss going to the restaurant. It's okay to go there like once a month, but if you stick to cooking most of your food, or just like 80 to 90% of it, you can see great changes in your money saving. And the thing is, I enjoy the extra money that I have, and I'm able to spend it on other things that I enjoy. Or simply, for example, you can put the money aside for your emergency or your retirement fund. Now, of course, if you decide to cook your meals instead of going to the restaurant, you must also understand that this may take some extra time. Not necessarily, there are a lot of recipes that can be done quickly and they are still healthy, but generally you will have to use at least a little bit more of your time. But don't think of this as time lost while cooking, because for example, while you're cooking, you could be listening to audiobooks, you could even be listening to this lecture. So why not do it? So don't think of it as time lost, but think of it also as another experience. And if you're looking to really save some money, then when cooking, you should go from scratch. So for example, instead of buying the bread, you should actually just make the bread yourself. Buy the ingredients and cook it from the scratch. The second tip is something that I've actually learned from a friend of mine, and that is, instead of going to the stores, is to go to the second-hand shop for clothes. Now, the thing is, half of her closet was from a second-hand shop, but you could never tell. Now, maybe she just had a good sense of fashion, but it's also true that second-hand stores not necessarily only have the torn or the dirty clothes. They really have a lot of amazing pieces, and it's really difficult to tell that they are second-hand. Very often for half of the price that you would be able to find at the regular store. So I definitely recommend checking those out. The third tip is to try exercising from home. Gym memberships can be quite pricey, and there are numerous tutorials on YouTube that you can watch for free and work out with. So there are various workout types, various workout regimes. You can pause it anytime. You can do it for as long as you want to. So consider doing those instead of having to pay for a pricey gym lesson. Fourth tip is to walk more. Now, every time you want to go somewhere, perhaps just to the nearby store, ask yourself, do you really need to take your car there? Gas and car maintenance can be quite pricey. Walking, on the other hand, is very healthy and doesn't cost you anything. So every time you can take a walk instead of driving, do that. Now, these are just some tips on what you can do to remove unnecessary expenses. But it is very important that you actually take a look at your spending habits and find where you can save extra money. What are some of the things that you are buying that you don't necessarily really have to? What are some of the things that you could swap and perhaps spend less money on it? Now, you may think of this, oh, this is just a little bit of money, but don't forget, a little bit is a lot over a longer period of time. So make sure to find those unnecessary expenses in your spending habits and think about how you can remove them.